2. So from here we get, from validate scope, we get what is known as an accepted deliverable. That's when our customer has accepted the deliverable. But the deliverable, even though accepted, is not actually transitioned to the client until we get to a process known as close project or phase. So the accepted deliverable becomes an input to close project or phase. And this is where we close out either the project or phase. One thing you need to remember is that validate scope could happen in increments throughout the project. It's not a one-time thing in many projects. It's done progressively and iteratively over time. So in close project or phase, we get an output, and this output is called, well, we get two outputs actually that I would like to call out. So let's show them here. This one is a terminal process in that it goes to the customer, what I'm about to write, and the other one that I'm about to write here goes into the organizational process assets. Okay, the first output is known as the final report. The final report explains the outcome of the project, and this one down here is known as final product service or result transition. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it is what it is. Final product service or result transition. So let's follow the map again. Develop project charter gives you the project charter, and develop project management plan gives you the project management plan. And I had it shown here, so I'm just going to erase that so that we've got it nice and neat. Okay, so the project management plan goes into direct and manage project work. That gives you work performance data, the issue log and deliverables. Deliverables goes to control quality. From there we get verified deliverables when we've carried out an inspection and we've found the deliverable to be fit for use for the customer. It then gets sent to validate scope so the customer can check it themselves, and if the customer agrees that it is accepted, you get an accepted deliverable, and that goes to close project or phase, where we get a final product service or result transition and final report. But that's not the end of the story. There's more that happens in the mainline. So I'll show you the next part of what happens in the mainline. All right. Remember, this is a challenge for you to draw this stuff out yourself as you see fit. So WPD up here, I'm going to bring it down here, and we're gonna play around with WPD in this next section. So work performance data goes to a number of places. To summarize it, let's just say that WPD goes to all non-integration monitoring and controlling processes. It is a mouthful, I know, but it is important that I break it down properly for you so that you really know what I'm talking about. So let's just do that again. All non-integration monitoring and controlling processes. And what do I mean by that? Let's go through all of them one by one. It is important. So let's make it bigger at the bottom here. So we can squeeze all of them in. So we've got validate scope, control schedule, control cost, control quality, control resources, monitor communications, monitor risks, control procurements, and monitor stakeholder engagement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 processes here are going to accept work performance data. Remember, work performance data is your raw observations. These raw observations need to be further analyzed from a scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communications, risk, procurement, and stakeholder perspective so that you understand the implication of this work performance data, whatever it is. From these processes, all of them, they will all give you an output. And this output is known as work performance information. Okay? This is work performance data. This is work performance information. Okay? Work performance information is then going to make a trip to the process known as monitor and control project work. Okay? This is simple logic. It's really saying you get a charter, it authorizes a project, you get a plan. When you get to directing and managing the project work, that's going to generate data. That data needs to be analyzed so you understand status, you understand what's at stake, you understand risks better, you look at trend lines, you understand the project variances, and all of that information gets put back into monitor and control project work where you are going to get out something known as a work performance report. So the output is work performance report, also known as WPR. Now, a lot of people forget that WPR needs to be shared. Okay, so now you've got the full meaning. Let's make it neater. I'll just refer to it from henceforth as WPR, work performance report. So let's go this way with it. Work performance report. This work performance report is going to a number of places. So we will examine the places that WPR is going to. And let's put one in this direction and one in this direction. So WPR is going to the process first known as manage communications. We're running out of space. You get the picture. Excuse my horrible writing. Manage communications. That's one of the places. The next place that we need to think about is perform integrated change control. Perform integrated change control. The next place WPR is going to is monitor risks. And the last one is manage team. Get it? So WPR is going to manage communications, perform integrated change control, monitor risks, and manage team. There's a trick to remembering this. 3 M's, M, 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 and a P. 3M, 3 M's and a P. So work performance reports is going in all of these directions. WPR. And this, my friends, will help you on your exam. So I invite you to draw this out yourself so that you understand the flow, my friends. If you understand the flow, you know where to go. If you don't know where to go, you might as well just stay at home. But we can't stay at home. We need to take this exam and get it down. So this first piece that I'm showing you is just one of the data flows in my data flow book. If you go to Praizion.com and you look for the critical tools, I have many data flows across processes, across knowledge areas that you guys may want to check out. All right, this is just a snippet of the many data flows that I've got. Okay? You do know, of course, that many of these I could draw additional offshoots of these flows to further illustrate stuff. But I think this is good for now. Okay? There is one more piece, and I will round up with this. It's going to be a bit of a long flow, but you see this right here? Control quality, validate scope. I could show you a very long line going into perform integrated change control. You see that? It's coming all the way from here, control quality. And I could show you another line coming from here and hooking into it. And what is that? You guessed right. Change requests. Because a lot of your exam is going to have these change request things. The change requests, they all go into perform integrated change control. But you know what? It's not just control quality and validate scope. It is a lot of other things. Direct and manage project work can hook into it as well. See that? Manage communications can hook in a change request as well that goes to perform integrated change control. And then what happens? A very important feedback loop. So let me show you that feedback loop from here. We have a feedback loop, and I'll just do it with dotted lines. We have a very important feedback loop that goes back into direct and manage project work, and that same feedback loop goes into control quality, and this same feedback loop goes into a process known as control procurement. And what is that feedback loop? What is that dotted line? I know some of you have already guessed. This is approved change requests. Your approved change request, and I'll just write ACR over here. Your approved change request is coming from perform integrated change control if that change request that's going in is approved. So don't lose sight of the fact that this is really a change request coming in, and this is an approved change request coming out and going to two very important places: direct and manage project work and control quality. and of course, control procurement. All right, so in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of stuff to keep straight as you study for the exam, but I just wanted to show you a snippet of it, and hopefully you'll work on duplicating this in your own way. If you make it a lot fancier, shoot us a Facebook link on the Praizion Facebook page, and let's see what you can come up with. All right? Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all the very best in your prep. Bye for now.